Hello and welcome to Travel with Austin. I'm Austin, and today I am here in Columbus, Ohio at Brown Pet Cemetery. Now, if you're from the Columbus area, you may have heard of this place before without even knowing about it, because a lot of people also refer to this as the Airport Pet Cemetery. That's because this little pet cemetery that we are in right now is directly across from John Glenn International Airport. Now, this cemetery has been here for years. I have seen graves here from the late 1920s and the early 1930s. Now, I have also seen a grave that is actually from 2021. This place is pretty massive for a pet cemetery, and also, sadly, pretty unkempt. So let's go ahead and just take a look around this pet cemetery, take a look at some of these touching tributes people have made to their pets, and in a way prove that they still to this day are not forgotten. Now, I did open up by showing you the grave of Buster, who still had his picture on it. Now, we have a grave right here that I honestly cannot fully read, but if you look at the gravestone, it is actually made of wood. Now, you'll also notice, oh, we got a plane taking off, just one second. Woo! Those things are loud. Now, you'll notice that a lot more of these pet graves have the photos on them than the graves of people generally do. And that is something that I do find interesting. Oh, see, this one is a cat named Mr. King. There's an illustration in here, and he passed away in 2019. Now, as you can see here, this one is Terry, who passed away in 1966. This poor cat passed away in 1953. Now, something I am noticing here is that a lot of the pets in here did seem to have shorter lives. There are some that only had 5 or 6 years. I did see one that tragically only had 1 year. Let's see, here is Judy. And as time goes on, and as the care of these graves are not as good as they should be, eventually we will lose these photos of these pets from decades and decades ago. So I do find it nice that I can come here and at least take photos and videos of them, so that way, in some way, they're still stored. Now, again, this pet cemetery is massive. And as you can see, just the poor conditions in it as we look around here. Now, in the center here, we do have a remembrance plaque. It was erected in 1944 to a Henry Snap, and I do believe that this is the human that is most likely responsible, or at the very least did a lot to make this pet cemetery happen. So let's continue on with our journey, and I'm going to show you one of the most unique graves here. But as we get to it, of course, I'm going to show you the pictures of some people's pets that are still left behind. Now, this is probably the most unique grave here, which means that these people truly cared about these animals and spent quite a lot of money on them. So, I believe this is the grave for 2 animals. So this is Pete, who was MJ's dog. As you can see, he's curled up sleeping on a little suitcase. Now, On the back, there's also Petunia Rose Blossom, and it says the Hippie Pit Bull. And then we have what is possibly the pit bull, but I do think it was supposed to be a cat, at least personally. And it has a lot of stuff that says protect birds. So on this part it says Chansey says, and then on the back it says birds be safe. It does say collar.com on it. And then on the back it says Chansey the gardener. Now this is definitely the most unique grave here, and I have actually seen this posted online before because of how unique it is. And I mean, it really is, but really, when you think about it, all of these graves in their way are unique because it is people who cared so much about their pets all the way back in the 1930s and the 1920s that they paid to have these graves put in. And here's just another example of how poorly taken care of this is this grave actually seems like it is sinking in on itself. Now, in the very back of the cemetery, there is also a stone that says, "The Pets of Virginia Penfield." Now, these pets over here all have other people's names on them. So I'm wondering if it's generally the pets in this stone plot. Which again, this stone plot is so overgrown that you really can't tell there's graves in it unless you get really close. Now also at the end of the cemetery is a bit of a drop off down to a river below. And that river is actually super blue. So it does seem over the years that maybe the ground here has been slowly eroding and going down into that river. Especially when you see that the only thing holding up this stone really anymore is this tree. But anyway, this is Brown Pet Cemetery in Columbus, Ohio, right next to the airport. You have probably heard it referred to as the Airport Cemetery. And I don't know, this is just something that if you want to go and see, it's a pretty unique thing to see. And for me, it helps me feel good knowing that I am helping pets like Pupsy, who died in 1938, still be remembered in a way. So anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe. And if this is something that you guys would be interested in seeing more of, please let me know. And if this is something that you would like to do on your own, I definitely go ahead and encourage it, just because it makes me feel like these pets aren't being forgotten.